today, a new face looks to emerge to the front of an interesting and exciting 125 season to date. And we welcome you to Maryland, Budds Creek Motocross Park, just outside of our nation's capital for what should be a great day of 125 racing. This is the AMA Chevy Trucks U.S. Motocross Championship, the Yamaha National. And hello once again, everybody. Todd Harris along with the champ David Bailey and Cameron Steele manning the pits for us. And David, a little rain earlier this week. Temperature right now 85 degrees. The track, though, holding up nicely.
Well, you see all those puddles? Those were empty. Actually, I don't think they've been empty all year. The whole East Coast has been getting hammered with rain. This place was a mess. And as always, they've done a great job to get it back to pretty decent conditions for racing.
Well, the big story, he's back. James Bubba Stewart healed and ready to go after that horrific accident on the final stop of the Supercross season. And I think everyone's waiting to see what he's going to be able to do.
Well, I'll tell you what he's going to do. He's going to kill everybody. I saw him riding on Tuesday, and you can just forget it. With Hughes having problems, and I don't think Brown can run with him. If no one can really run with Brown and he's leading the points, no one's going to touch James.
Well, round 3, Mount Morris, Pennsylvania, we had some great battling between Mike Brown and Ryan Hughes. Some good, solid, most of the time clean racing. And when it was all said and done after that race, they got along just fine. Everyone appreciates a good battle. But here at Budds Creek, Maryland, tempers flared on Saturday, and this was the scene yesterday.
The guy cleaned me out again, second time. She's Bubba. Hey, is this accidental? Look at that, huh?
Well, each man had his opportunity to share his side of the story.
Me and Ricky was, catching up to Ryan. I know he has a bad leg, and I wasn't out there to try and take him out because he had a bad leg, but I thought we both trying to go on the same line, and I bumped into him, and I thought he thinks I was trying to take him out or something, but, I was just trying to race and, get around him the best I could, and I wasn't trying to ram him or anything, and, I think he got a little, mad at me for doing that there, and then at the top of the hill, I kind of bumped into him, and then he crashed.
I'm not the type of person to let somebody take advantage of me like that, and for me that was a threat, and I'm gonna take care of it any way I can. After the race, or after practice, I hit him a couple times. Maybe that's not the right thing to do, but if you're in my situation, he's just gonna keep on doing it. He does it to everybody, and nobody stands up for themselves. I don't let anybody try to take advantage of me, and when they do, I'm gonna try to take care of it.
Unfortunately for KTM's Ryan Hughes, the situation has gone from bad to worse. He went out this morning, tried to race in a practice lap, and the leg is just not going to go for him. He's going to have to sit out all day here on Sunday.
It's hard to get, I guess, motivated for it, or, because you're going to twist it out there, and for me, it's almost going, now feels like I'm starting to go backwards with the healing time, and I guess I just got to kind of swallow my pride and say that I'm not going to do it.
Well, for the time being, cooler heads have prevailed, but in the event they don't, Duke Finch of the AMA has laid out the potential consequences for each rider.
I went to talk to Ryan and explained to him that as soon as he got aggressive when he come off the track and he'd become the aggressor, that anything that happened before that, he'd taken it out of my hands at that point. I explained to him that I was not going to have that, and I placed him on permanent probation, that any further act of aggression, I will take his license away from him because I need to keep control of this. I set the two of them down together. They had a good talk, the three of us together, and I also reminded Brownie that, this wasn't a license for him to go pick on Rhino, that the aggressiveness that those two have shown against one another is over, that any contact between the two, and I'll be back.
Well, speaking of being back, all eyes are on this man, number 259, James Bubba Stewart. He is back on the circuit, and from what everyone's seen, including our own David Bailey, the kid looks fast as ever. Moments ago, he caught up with Cameron Steele.
Well, check it out. Welcome back to James Stewart after a broken collarbone has kept him out of the first few rounds of the Outdoor Nationals. James, welcome back. What have you been doing to get ready?
You know, just kind of riding and stuff. It's my second week riding, and you know, just trying to get back in the flow and getting out to these guys. These guys are on the A game right now, and I'm just trying to go out there, you know, have fun. You know, we got my buddy here, Cameron. I miss him. I miss all the ESPN guys and everything, and I'm just glad to be back.
Glad to be back, here to have fun, but I want to ask you, you're a serious competitor, you're the champion from last year. What are your goals? I mean, realistically, what can you do with the rest of the series?
You know, realistically, I can just, you know, race, win motos and let the points set themselves out and sort themselves out. And, you know, I'm just trying to go out there and win as many motos as I can and just try to start where I left at. And hopefully that's not on the ground, but we'll see when we get out there.
Well, we're glad to have you back, James. Welcome back and have fun.
Thanks.
Well, the shoulder looks good, David. He looks like he's positive. He looks happy. He looks ready to roll.
Yeah, he doesn't have any resistance now. And Brown's got a little help from Ricky. Ricky's always telling him lines, and when he comes off from his moto, he'll be like, okay, watch out for that back corner. The rut's too deep, go wide. And any help he can get. He doesn't need it now with Ryan Hughes sitting out. That's second place in the points. Man, the only guy he's got to worry about really is Grant Langston.
This is our Suzuki starting grid for Moto number 1 here in the 125 class. Budds Creek, Maryland, the Yamaha National. Todd Harris along with David Bailey, of course, Cameron Steele manning his positions, and what a great look that is. But watch out for this first turn, David. They're all going into that big V, and we're off racing.
Brown gets a mid-pack start, if that. And Stewart right up front with Grant Langston.
Oh, this is not good for the rest of the field. James Stewart takes over the lead. Number 259 is back on the track.
He almost overjumped and landed out in the mud. He landed just enough inside of that berm to make it work.
James Stewart, your leader as they go into the green flag lap. David, there is practice speed and then there is race speed. How quickly do you think he adjusts to race speed?
He doesn't, I don't think James has a practice speed, Todd. I'm dead serious. I know it sounds funny, but I've never seen him not going so fast that I was in awe. And everybody else around the track looking at me like, did you see that? Look at the lead already. This is the first, they haven't even gone a lap. And it's not like it's a bunch of privateers or something behind the kid. I mean, it's Grant Langston. Amazing.
James Stewart misses the first 4 stops of the Outdoor Nationals by virtue of that horrific accident in Las Vegas on the final stop of the Supercross series. Grant Langston sitting in second place. And I'll tell you what, it's amazing. I mean, Langston is a great rider, and he just cannot match the speed of Kawasaki's James Bubba Stewart.
Well, how nice is it to just come back? You got the new 04 riding gear. Your bike has just been waiting for you. Everyone's happy to see you. You're signing 1 million autographs. You go out in the first moto, all red, white, and blue, and lead it. You know, I mean, everything just seems to be going so well for this kid. I know Vegas was a bit scary, but that's the only time I can ever think where I felt a little bad for the kid. The rest of the time, you're just jealous. His life is perfect. Everything he does is beautiful. He's falling into the right situations. He's making his own luck. Meanwhile, guys like Mike Brown, the points leader, is buried mid-pack. Got a lot of work to do, and he's not going to be able to see most of the time. And looked like Kelly Smith was able to get around and get that hole shot. It was Stewart just to the inside of Grant Langston. He was able to get around. But Brown right there in the middle, number 3, just buried. That wasn't even good enough for a mid-pack start like I called it in the first place. But watch Kelly Smith. He comes to this corner on the inside, as he should, but he can't hold it tight. Stewart's already on the power, making sure he gets by. If Kelly Smith had come out of that corner any faster, Stewart would have clipped his front wheel and probably not have cared too much about it.
Well, the way the track is set up with the moisture we've gotten this year, a lot of the soft stuff has been pushed to the outside. The inside remains a little bit slippery, and James Stewart continues to dominate.
And he's going so fast, Todd, that it's to the point where the track won't even allow him to do what he wants to do out there. It's unbelievable.
Well, we had the opportunity to mic up Brent Meyer and Mike Brown's mechanic, who's getting some help from Ricky Carmichael. Here's what they're saying.
Shift to third, maybe. He didn't shift fast enough because he had
a good jump.
That was perfect.
Yeah, as simple as that sounds,
was fine today.
it's, you know, some people come off the line and they don't get that gear quick enough, or they get it too soon and it ruins their start. Sounded like Grant had a good jump, but he made a mistake. He's never even going to see James.
He's just got to lay it down.
Yeah.
What's he thinking right now, Ricky?
I'm saying, make some moves.
So Carmichael lending a hand as Well, no, Mike Brown trains a lot at Ricky Carmichael's track, so they've got to be friends, but I think right now even Ricky Carmichael's not going to be able to help him out because 2:59, James Stewart is absolutely running away with this thing. More of Moto number 1 when we return to Budds Creek in a moment. U.S. Motocross Championships are brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles, scooters, and all-terrain vehicles. By Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. And welcome back to Budds Creek, Maryland, the Yamaha National. This is Moto number 1, 125 class. Todd Harris along with the champ, David Bailey and Cameron Steele. And they are starting to mix it up, David. We got to train as we look for the battle for 5th place right now. Brock Sellard's in there making it happen.
Well, when you think about all these guys in this big train and how good they all are, they're nowhere near James Stewart. He's on the other side of the valley. And the other part about it is that Mike Brown is going to have to catch up to these guys and pass them all. And so Ryan Hughes, there he is finally. So Ryan Hughes on the sidelines going, yeah, good for you. He's hoping Brown crashes 14 more times. And, you know, just a comment on that, I don't understand why Rhino was riding on Saturday in the first place. I also don't understand how Brown can say that he accidentally ran into Rhino twice in practice. The whole thing doesn't make any sense to me, but it's a shame because it was a great battle.
Well, what does make sense is James Stewart is out in front, and he is just killing it lap times around 2:20. David, he's 4 or 5 seconds faster than everyone else.
I told you. You know, I think everyone could see that. It's not like I went out on a limb or anything, but I saw him riding on Tuesday. I saw a video of him riding on one of the websites, and it was like, geez.
Well,
this kid is unbelievable.
You had first-hand account. Your son Sean had a chance to ride with him a week or so ago, and Sean even came back with big eyes.
Yeah, it was pretty neat to watch him behind the scenes. He's even faster, I think, in practice sometimes because he can experiment a little bit. Brown's mechanic going, come on, you got to pass all these guys. Yeah, he's got a points lead, but with Langston up front, you know, that's who the challenger is now, and it's really important that Brown gets up there and doesn't let, looks like Sellards has a problem now.
Brock Sellards pulling off the outside of the track, looking down. He's got major issues right now, the Boost Mobile Yamaha, and he was running so well. And Matthew Laylaw's forced to the outside, and who did that?
Oh, it's probably an accident.
Mike Brown pushing Laylaw's to the outside. I don't know if we'll be able to see that again, but here it is one more time.
Well, Sellards' problems may have started here. Tedesco coming in from the inside. He's trying to hold it. He can't do it. Makes contact. And when Sellards stopped, he was looking at the left side of his bike. So that's probably what happened there. Now watch Brown. Bam! Shoves Laylaw's up over the berm. Now, Brown, he was pretty much committed in there. He didn't go in and just plow him. But, you know, I don't think that kind of stuff needs to be done in practice, and that's kind of what ended up happening to Ryan Hughes. So, you know, Hughes has got a very short fuse, even shorter with his broken leg, and Brown is just very aggressive. So, you just don't want to get those two guys together. It was great in Mount Morris, but it's a shame that the series battle is over now.
Brian Gray, 338, currently sits in 11th place. In 9th place, Craig Anderson, the man who rode so well last week. But all eyes seem to be on number 259, James Bubba Stewart. David, his riding style is just unbelievable.
Well, besides being fast, I mean, coming off those 2 jumps leading into this corner, he was so far forward, it looked like he missed a gear and was falling over the handlebars. But he's got to lead the bike. You know, he's putting that front end right where he wants. And I talk about it in schools I teach. You have to be that far forward to make that front end go exactly where you want. If you've ever had a front flat tire, you're pretty much out of the race. But if you have a rear flat, you can still get things done.
This is the battle for 6th place as James Stewart continues to run away with this one in Moto number 1. His lap times, as we saw, 7 seconds ahead of Michael Brandis, who is a solid rider. And the rest of the field now trying to work their way back up to find Stewart, even be able to see him on the track.
Well, if they're coming down the hill, they can see him on the other side of the valley.
And I'm sure Mike Brown, number 3 there, knows exactly what's going on as he is mired back in the pack around 12th and 13th position. Michael Brandis in 5th place right now, but again, his lap time 7 seconds slower than that of James Stewart.
Now look who he's beating, though. You know, and it's not like he's holding him up. You know, he's been riding great this year. Starts have been a big thing for Brandis. Plus, when he gets out there, he's experienced enough, good enough talent to hold these guys off. Oh, that could have been a big problem for Brown. Rhino's probably going, dang it, why couldn't he have took him out? Because Rhino, he's going to miss this race, but he'll be back for Redbud and back in the title hunt, he hopes. So he's praying for Brown to have a bad day.
Mike Brown now fighting the elements and the rest of the field. He has moved up to 8th place. So just a few laps ago, David, he was in 14th. Give Mike Brown credit. He's certainly working his way through the pack because I think he knows what James Stewart is capable of.
No, he's a good guy. As this Mertens going up over the berm, he sat up straight and followed through with that corner and front end just went, yippee, I can go where I want now. Cost him a position. And then here again, loses his balance. Almost goes down. Nice save and a good reaction by Mike Brown, who he saw that brewing early, was able to stay out of the trouble. And yeah, you know, you're saying Brown has done a great job at coming from so far back. Sorby now knows his teammates back there, and he might make that a little easier for him. But Brown has done an outstanding job of putting him in position, himself in a position to lead this series. And you know, unless he blows it somewhere, he should be able to win it now.
Well, Kawasaki, Bruce Cernstrom, and the rest of the folks in Team Green, we got to be feeling pretty good. Eric Sorby's looking great in 7th place. Mike Brown is moving up. And of course, lest we forget, James Stewart has got this thing all but wrapped up, running way out in front.
Yeah, James is incredible. I'm sure we'll get to talk about him some more. I want to mention Tedesco right there, number 52. He's just, when he pulled off the track, and I think it was 2nd moto at Southwick, it looked like he broke his collarbone. And I saw him kind of really favoring it at the hotel, and that's what I thought he had done. But what a recovery to come back. He probably couldn't have the kind of week he wanted leading into this, but with all the rain, I don't think very many people were able to have a good week leading into this race.
Your leader, number 259, James Bubba Stewart, a 35-second lead on the rest of the pack. And David, that is amazing. This is a kid who has missed the first 4 stops. He comes out in moto number 1 and absolutely just dominates. I mean, I don't know if that's too strong of a word, but he absolutely obliterates the field. As we take a look at the running order, it's James Stewart, Grant Langston, Steve Boniface, and Kelly Smith, your top 4. We're back to Maryland in just a moment. Back at Budds Creek, Maryland, James Stewart continues to lead, and with him coming back, this is his return. We thought it'd be interesting to mic up his mechanic, Jeremy Albrecht, at his first practice on Saturday.
Woohoo! Practice. And make sure the goggle strap fits right and everything. We haven't tried any goggles on in a while. Not the ones in the truck, anyway. Good. What are they? Too tight? Too loose?
Like 20th position. I go next week at the starting line 20th?
No, the spot you're in right now is the worst spot you'll ever be.
Oh, I won't get any worse? Okay.
We can only get better because you're a past champion.
Oh, so now, no matter what.
So gate pick, this is the worst pick you'll ever have right here.
Okay.
Have fun! How do you feel? What's that? A little tight. Yeah, it just looks like in the ruts, you're just kind of like laying over a little too much maybe. And some other spots are maybe not enough, like you just got to get in a rhythm, but you look, times are fine. Like you just got to relax and ride how you know how to ride.
That's so good to hear. I love that. Do that more, you guys. It's, you know, Jeremy's got great input too. I mean, I think with James, he was absolutely right. James would get into a corner and want to do so much with it. He was laying it over and not really getting enough forward momentum and a good strong drive. And Jeremy can say that as a mechanic because I've seen him ride. He's a decent rider, so he can relate, and they have a great relationship.
We've got an international trio right now with Stewart out in front, Grant Langston, originally from South Africa, in 2nd. Steve Boniface, also a KTM rider, originally from France, now sitting in 3rd place. So the folks at KTM have their colors up in the front, top 3. James Stewart continues to lead by more than 30 seconds, but you make a good point, and Jeremy made a great point. He just needed to find his rhythm, and I think that's exactly what he's done. Kelly Smith's got problems here. The TeamRacehouse.com Yamaha is dead in the water.
Man, a whole shot, first to last, or whatever. He won't get any points this moto. It's as good as last. Brown's mechanic, and no time to wait. Get these guys, force your way through, and you know he will.
This is the battle for 4th place, and look at Mike Brown on the tail end of that train. Here's a guy, David, he's down as far as, what, 15th? Moved all the way up to 6th now as we have the white flag, the final lap, moto number 1, and James Stewart is just gone, and that's got to be tough for Kelly Smith to sit there and watch that.
well, Kelly knows he wasn't going to beat him, but, you know, sure, maybe that's the guy that could be sitting there a touch jealous, going, man, why couldn't my day be going like his?
This is a great battle right here. Ivan Tedesco's number 52. Mike Brown coming up on the outside of him. They're all trying to move up positions. It looks like he gets it done. Tedesco yields a spot to Brownie. Number 3 goes by. Meanwhile, James Stewart continues to lead, dominate, obliterate, use all the adjectives you want. This kid is on fire. And for the rest of the mechanics, all they can do is encourage their rider to go on. And that has been the story for Brent Myron, Mike Brown's mechanic.
Good job, bud. 2. He's coming up.
Well, that's all you can really say is your boy's riding better than my boy, and pretty much James is riding better than everyone right now.
He can wear that gear in the second moto. He didn't even get roosted. And something tells me he's got more stuff in that locker. Well, his momentum is incredible. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He just doesn't slow down very much, and he, you know, it's.
Even with a 30-second lead, James Stewart is continuing to get on the gas. Let's rejoin Brent Myron and Jeremy Albrecht one more time.
It's a long way from Glenius.
Yeah. You already got more points than you finished. I know you got more points.
Well, if the riders can't get along, at least their mechanics can.
Yeah, well, I don't think that Ryan Hughes' mechanic, would be anywhere near that scene getting along. Those guys are all riding Kawasaki's, and they do get along. Brent's a great guy. I mean, you can't blame mechanics at all for what's going on with their riders out on the track, you know. Now James gets to have a little bit of fun, light the crowd up. He already did with a stunning. He's got over a third of a lap lead on these guys. Actually, it's almost a half a lap.
Yeah.
On Grant Langston. It's just incredible.
Well, I don't want to say there's a new sheriff in town, but there's a new sheriff that's back in town, and his name is 259, James Bubba Stewart, absolutely tearing up the track here at Budds Creek, Maryland. So after a 5-week layoff after his injury in Las Vegas, James Stewart doesn't miss a beat, picks up the victory here in Moto number 1. Welcome back, Bubba.
Oh, I think he's happy to be back.
I think the fans are happy to have him back.
Listen to this place. And everything he does, they love.
James Bubba Stewart, your winner in Moto number 1.
Oh, dude.
To the adulation of the crowd, enjoying this moment, taking in some liquid refreshment as we take a look at upcoming races. July 6th, we're going to Michigan. 13th, we're going to Troy. And on the 20th, New Berlin, New York. July should be fantastic. Let's check in with Cameron Steele.
Well, James, I want to say welcome back one more time, but those guys out there racing with you, they must be a little disappointed. I understand approximately 47-second win that moto.
Oh, dude, so happy to be back up here. I haven't worn my hat in a while. And, you know, I'm just trying to go out there and ride my best. And we got a great start. My Bridgestones are hooking up out there. And, you know, God, I kind of forget what I say. I haven't been up, feels like I haven't been up here in a while, so I'm just pumped.
It was a horrific crash in Las Vegas, James. I mean, when you look back at that crash, are you surprised you're back this soon? It was just a collarbone?
Yeah, you know, Dr. Murphy down in San Diego, he hooked me up really good, and you know, I can't thank everybody enough. You know, my team, my mom and dad, everybody that's been to support me while I was injured, and you know, it's been a lot of stressful weeks coming here. I get all sad on Sundays, but you know, I'm just glad to be back up here hanging out with my boy.
Right on, it's great to have you back, James. We'll see you in Moto 2.
Thanks, Cameron.
As we take a look at our Honda official results, it's James Stewart, Grant Langston, Steve Boniface, Michael Brandis, and Mike Brown. Brownie getting in the top 5. And a great day for KTM, although they don't have Ryan Hughes where they thought they would. They've got 2 riders on the podium, so bittersweet day for them. Right now, let's send it back down to the podium, and our Cameron Steele hard at work.
Well, Steve Boniface, a great ride today, 3rd place in Moto number 1, your first ever podium in outdoor motocross. You got to be excited with that.
Yeah, really. You know, I had a great start, and I just follow my teammate Grant and try to hold up like to the end. And last weekend, unfortunately, I was 3rd in the last lap, but I crashed, so I didn't want to do the same mistake today. So it's pretty good.
Do you concern yourself with James Stewart and an over 40-second win, or are you back there racing for the championship?
No, I mean, you know, to be quite honest, James doesn't, you know, mean anything to me right now. You know, I think it's great for the crowd to see him back and it makes it interesting. But you know, he's at the championship. I don't want to try and risk everything to try and run with him and crash. You know, his speed is awesome, and you know, I'm just going to ride at my own pace. I knew I wasn't going to catch him or beat him, so. You know, I just rode solid and made sure that I kept the gap on the guys behind me and stayed in second and, you know, gain points of Brown. That's all I'm up, you know, that's all I want to do right now.
Great job in that moto, Grant. We'll see you in Moto 2.
Thanks a lot.
Welcome back to Budds Creek, Maryland. Yamaha National, part of the AMA Chevy Trucks U.S. Motocross Championship. Todd Harris along with David Bailey and Cameron Steele as the gardening gets ready, and James Stewart, David, looks as calm as it can be. And look at the parity in the 125 class.
Yeah, it is it's way different than 250 class. It's only a couple of names up there, and Ricky is talking to Brown right now, but his back turned to James Stewart.
As we take a look at the Suzuki starting grid, a lot of talent, and they'll all be chasing number 259, James Stewart, who had a terrific Moto number 1 return. As the 30 board is vertical, wait for that and go sideways, and we'll be off racing here. Moto number 2, Budds Creek, Maryland, and the Yamaha National. 30 board is sideways, and we are set to go. Moto number 2.
Whoa, somebody already going down.
Back in the back of the pack, James Stewart goes down. Michael Brandis on the left-hand side is down and dead in the water. But the big story is Brandis gets back up and gets his bike running again. James Stewart is in dead last, 40th place.
Well, I was thinking to myself, it'd be kind of cool to see Stewart and Brown reverse their positions off the gate. I didn't wish that on anybody, but we're going to get to see it now.
Meanwhile, number 52, Ivan Tedesco, the man on the spot, hot sauce out in front. He will take them into the green flag lap. And what a bunch of turn of events. Here's Stewart just coming into view. He was in 40th. I'll make that 39, 30, 37th. So just like that, he picks up 2 spots.
Yeah, watch the way he picks his way through the pack. Here it is. Look in the back. He high sides up. It looks like Mike Brown. You know, that wasn't intentional or anything, but it looks like a pro circuit rider. He gets sideways, goes down, doesn't even make it to the first turn. And then Brandis gets clipped. He goes down. At least he hit somewhere soft. Didn't get run over too much. But as for Stewart, I can't even believe it. Sure, he's happy to be back, but not like this. And you know what he'll turn this into? Instead of being like, oh, dang it, he's going to turn this into a challenge. The title isn't a big deal. There he goes around the inside, passes about 4 more guys. He'll turn this into a challenge. It's like a video game now. Like, let me see how many guys I can pass. If I can win, oh, that'll be so cool. And this place is going to come unglued if he catches Tedesco.
If he gets in the top 3, the place is going to come unglued. James Stewart in 40th place, now moving up to 35th. Meanwhile, Ivan Tedesco not seeing number 259. He's got to be thinking, his Yamaha pit boards have got to be saying, check out. Do not get anywhere near Stewart, Brown, or the rest of the crew.
Well, he doesn't have Brown or Langston or any of the heavy hitters right behind him. Sellers is in there. He's tough, but Hurley running second, I don't think poses a huge threat to Tedesco right now. Nothing against Hurley, but he hasn't proven to be a front-running guy for the whole entire moto, and you can already see the gap is widening. So Tedesco's got a real opportunity here. And when I saw him pull off last week, I really thought that he had done something to himself. I was like, man, every time this guy gets going, something happens, but I'm glad to see he's back out there, and I know he's pumped to have the lead right now.
Number 51, the Ping, David Pingree, has moved into 4th place. If you want to read a funny article, pick up the latest edition of RacerX magazine, Electronic Ping, one of the funniest things you'll ever read. Meanwhile, folks at Yamaha, got to be pretty thrilled as their boy goes 1 and 3. Tedesco in front, Sellers in 3rd.
Check out Stewart trying to find his way through the back. It's like salmon swimming upstream, man. Where's he going to go? Somebody going off the track, giving him a face full of dirt. He's already in 17th.
Unbelievable.
That's amazing.
He was in 40th. He's already cut it in half.
Jeez.
And I think Jeremy's probably saying, I've seen it before. It doesn't surprise me.
No, his face, there was no concern there. He's like, this is going to be fun.
And unfortunate for Ivan Tedesco, he gets a hole shot, gets out front, has the lead, and now all attention turns to James Stewart. Want to see what kind of magic he can turn.
Wow, he's not that far behind Brown.
There's Mike Brown, number 3 on board the Kawasaki, dicing down low. And down the hill comes 259, James Bubba Stewart, look how quick he's on the throttle and gets by short.
Well, he came into the corner so hard he could use the suspension to rebound right back out of that berm. He goes wherever he wants on the racetrack because his balance is so good. And he rides at a fast pace so often that even a little mistake like that would really cost somebody else, he can pull out, get out of it, and make it look pretty good. Short's probably like, how is he passing me right there? What did I do wrong? But that's just Stewart for you. Look how much more speed he carries everywhere. And I'll guarantee you this is fun right now for him.
Oh, yeah.
Because he can look across the track and see that he's gaining on the leader, so I don't think he's panicking. He's just having a blast going, it's kind of cool. I'm working my way in and out of all these guys, and you know the crowd is into it the whole way. He's feeding off of that as well.
Gets a tear-off away, and now he's starting to work on number 102. That is Shane Best, the ECC Suzuki rider. And here comes Stewart. It becomes a Stewart watch as we take a break. We'll be back to Budds Creek in just a moment. And back to Budds Creek in the midst of Moto number 2, 125 class, and the watch is really on James Bubba Stewart. While we were away, David, he's picked up almost 4 more spots, so now he's in the top 10 as we take a look at 111 Grant Langston.
Well, it's a good thing Grant isn't worried about Stewart because he's already caught him and he was in last. Look at James. You know what saved that? He was wide open. If he'd have let off the throttle right there, that would have been another swap, a little bit bigger than the one he already did. And there he is passing Mike Brown. Okay, got that guy, cross him off the list. Boniface. When you see the way he approached that jump, he's almost dragging the foot peg. When you lay the bike like that over off the takeoff, you don't get any height, and he stays lower than anybody else.
106 is Darrell Hurley, 111 Grant Langston. Here comes 259, James Bubba Stewart on the outside. David, this kid is unbelievable. I was out riding the YZ250 the other day. There's things he does that you just can't teach.
Well, you know, you don't have to be a great caliber rider to have an appreciation for what he's able to do on the bike. And, you know, I know our producer's like, okay, all right, he's in 7th. He's in, you know, whatever position, and by the time those guys find him, he's already passed 3 more guys. I'm amazed that we have this much footage of him right now because it's, you know, you usually follow the lead of the race, but he's moving up through the pack faster than anything I've ever seen. And this 125, Langston's just he's gonna watch him disappear is what he's gonna see happen.
Catches Hurley first on the outside. Look at that. Perfect line, drops down. Hurley has nowhere to go.
Doesn't touch him either. That's what was beautiful about that pass. You know, that's why I harassed Mike Brown just a little bit, you know, for the way he was able to, if that was Mike Brown making that pass, it would have been a touch of contact. And when James passes you so, all right, I got to what?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay, I got to see
Brock
that again.
Sellers is right in front of James Bubba Stewart. And you said this earlier, this is fun to him. This is like a video game. Well, if this video game's for sale, I think most of America is going to buy it.
You know what? I don't even remember what I was saying. When he laid it over off of that jump.
Look at that.
Okay, there's another one.
And what does Brock Sellers? Leaves him dead in the water.
He didn't touch him. And Brock's just like, whoa, where did that come from? And his lap times, just so you know, that was the first time I've seen him off balance yet because he was wide open. He was able to save it. Look at this. Brock's like, oh, geez. Yeah, just a tiny bit of contact, but Brock can't be unhappy about that. James is just smarter. His decision-making coming through the pack is perfect.
Meanwhile, Michael Brandis, who we saw go down in the first turn on the start, is done for the day. We'll find out what's going on with him. Ivan Tedesco out in front, your leader. Number 259, James Bubba Stewart, who was in 40th. I say again, was in 40th, is now in 2nd place, and Ivan Tedesco has got a tall order ahead of him.
You know, the thing, too, is that James didn't exactly rush to get going. I mean, he made sure the bars were straight and, you know, pulled his pants up. And he took his time a little bit to get going. But, you know, I think he knew what he was going to be able to do, so he could afford to take a little longer. Now, battling for the lead, the crowd is already just, they're not even making noise. They're in shock.
As are we. James Bubba Stewart, the last time we saw him racing was in Las Vegas on May 4th. And here he is, 6 weeks later, absolutely dominating the field. He was in dead last in the first turn, and here he is now fighting for first place. And give Ivan Tedesco all the credit in the world. He is making James work for this, and there it is. Unbelievable. James Bubba Stewart is your leader.
I think Ivan had to know that was coming. You know, he can't be mad. Now the crowd's making noise. First because he just flat landed that jump back there to put himself in position for the pass, and now the lead.
AMA US Motocross Championships have been brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles, scooters, and all-terrain vehicles. By Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, and scooters. Welcome back, Budds Creek, Maryland, and we are seeing near history in the making. James Bubba Stewart, dead last to start the first lap, and here we are on the white flag lap, David. I don't even know how you describe it. You've been around this sport so long. Have you seen anything like this?
Maybe Hannah, you know, but I haven't seen a last to first deal like this, and finally a little bit of contact right there for the lead just proves he's not messing around. He's serious. It's all fun and games, and Tedesco really should have known that to go wide like that with Stewart behind it, that's really risky. And the crowd is making all kinds of noise now because it's sunken in. Look at them. They're watching this guy going, they've just seen perhaps, you know, something that's never going to be done again.
Well, in a highly competitive class like this, your winner from last to first, James Bubba Stewart. Welcome back to the circuit, Mr. Stewart. After a 6-week plus layoff, he comes back and goes 1-1 as we take a look at the Honda official results. It's Stewart and Tedesco going 1 and 2, and what a masterful performance by James Bubba Stewart. And give credit to the rest of the people at Kawasaki who got his bike ready, who got him ready, and he came out and did what he came to do. Let's check in with Cameron Steele down on the podium.
Really good race. Whoa, James Stewart, hang on your hats and glasses, folks. This guy is on fire. If there's any questions about your stamina after coming back, you've answered every question there could ever be in that moto.
Yeah, you know, my Kawasaki got me out to a pretty decent start, and Boniface cut me off on the start. I don't know why, and knocked me down. And dude, I just put my head down. I was banging people all over, and I think my friend Eric Sorby kind of made it a little bit easier going up the hill. But you know, I'm so pumped. You know, I'm just happy to come back and get a 1-1. And you know, I think I didn't even do that last year, come all the way from last. So definitely got the stamina and the speed, and it's going to be a great season.
I think it was last year at Redbud you came from near last to second place. This time, second from last to first place. A lot of riders are saying it was hard to pass out there. You obviously didn't think so.
Yeah, the only way to pass is to bump around, and you know, when I was coming back, I could do that. And, you know, I wasn't worried about getting tired out there. It's a little hot out here, but you know, I feel good, and come back next 2 weeks at Redbud.
What about the championship, James? Are you thinking about it at all? Is it something that you can attain? I mean, Brownie has to basically fail in some motos, he and Langston. Is that right?
Yeah, you know, I don't know how many points. I'm gonna just go out there, try to win every single race, and I think if I ride anything like that, I should.
Awesome job.
Thanks, Cameron. You know, I like to thank Team Chevy Trucks, Kawasaki, Fox, Oakley, Bridgestone, and my mom and dad, and my brother, and everybody. Thanks.
Well, what a great day for James Bubba Stewart. Glad to have him back on the tour. And David, by virtue of that 1-1, as we look at the Honda official results, by virtue of that 1-1, James Bubba Stewart has launched himself into the top 20 standings. He comes out first race, and he's already in 17th place.
Well, I think by the end of the year, you'll see him probably up in the top 5 for sure. Probably the top 3. Winning it, he's going to have a little bit of luck. But, you know, when you watch him go that fast, it makes it look like it's something you can go out and do, you know. But let me tell you, you can't. This kid is special.
Special indeed. So on behalf of the champ, David Bailey, and Cameron Steele, I'm Todd Harris, saying so long from Budds Creek, Maryland in the Yamaha National. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. So long, everybody.